Hello, my name is Penny and this is Penny's Art Emporium. So I thought I would try something a little bit different today. I've got this little canvas which is 18 centimetres by 12 centimetres, and I'm going to do one of my little heart paintings, but I decided that I would like to do a whole series of pastel colours. So this is the very first one, and as you can see this is going to be yellow, and I just thought that it would be really nice to do something a little bit different, and so I'm filming it live instead of doing the speeded up versions that I normally do. So I'm just putting down, this is my normal mix of white, and I've added some nice yellow to it to make it quite pastel. I'm not sure exactly how bright it's going to be when it's dry, but we shall see. I just thought it might be nice to do something a little bit different, really. I normally do my white backgrounds, and I have done a dark background before. Just making sure my edges are covered nicely. I always find it better to do the edges first, and then that way they're not lumpy and bumpy. And I put my heart shape on first, just with some metallic white, so I could see where it was, and also to try and make it reasonably symmetrical. So that's got that down. I can see that it's not even. I've got my ruler here. Yeah, so that is kind of in the centre, and that is in the centre. But I can see this bit is not so much, but it's okay, it's fine. I can just go around that just a little bit more to make it kind of symmetrical. Maybe a little bit more. I did draw my line on, but so that is that bit done. I will just get my tweezers to get out a little tiny bit of fluff that I can see. Tiny little bit just here. Oh, it doesn't want to come out. There, so that's got that base down. And then what I thought was that I would get a nice mix of white and some metallic white, maybe just sort of outline the heart a little bit with metallic white. I'm just going to do my normal kind of dotting down of my pearl colours and really light pastel colours. This one's a pearl violet. I've tried to choose colours that will go with the yellow background. So that was pearl violet. This one's pearl green. And now I will just put on some other little pastel colours. So this one is banana yellow. Some pistachio. And I'm going to put flowers over the top of all of this. So this is just going to be a background colour. I thought a little bit of pink would be quite pretty. I don't want it to be too dark because I'm putting flowers over the top. A very small amount of gold, only small little bits here and there. Because the gold does tend to come to the surface quite a lot. And I think because I want real kind of candy colours, we'll have a little bit of lilac. But you can see I'm only putting a tiny bit. And then some more just sort of plain white here and there. I'm going to go over with my balloon anyway, and that will sort of blend everything together a little bit. So I think that will be it for now. I'm going to get my balloon and just kind of squash it down. There, so that's got those colours just kind of squashed down a little bit and blended together, and I think that'll be quite pretty. Right, let's have a look. You can see the bits that are not quite so symmetrical. And I'm putting flowers on over the top anyway, so I don't think it matters too much. If it's not that symmetrical. Get my little balloon. some little bits out. And some of the yellow in. So that's got my background done. Right, and now I'm going to add some flowers. So I'm going to put a bit of white down, there. Maybe a bit of white down here, a bit of white down there. Ooh, a little bit of lilac. Maybe a bit of lilac in the centre there. Pink, 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 pink. And then some brighter colours over the top. Ooh, some nice Pabio, blue violet. A little bit of coral because that's really pretty. Have a little bit of purple, maybe a little bit of pearl pink there. There. And now with my straw, I'll just make some flowers. Well, that's not looking bad. It's looking reasonably symmetrical. When there's a lot of paint, you find that the flowers tend to retract a little bit. They almost shrink back. So sometimes you have to go over them again just to get them to spread out a bit. Now I'll try to make some kind of pretty shapes. Just by putting my stick in and trying to make some kind of petal-like shapes. And because the metallic paint is over the top of the matte paint, it should make some quite pretty little shapes. I can see, I think that needs to come up just a little bit here, just to make it in line with that one. I mean, all of this can change. There, that looks quite pretty. And then any little dots, I can just put my stick in with some of this yellow paint, and that just covers over any little splashes. Okay, so now it's a case of looking at the centres and deciding what colours to do for the centres. So dark works really well in the centre of flowers, I find. So that's a really dark purple. This one is called Berry. And then this one is a really deep magenta. This is Garnet. And it does spread quite a lot because it's a Deco Art metallic one, so I don't want to put too much in. I'll put some magenta in the centre of these ones too. So now with my little balloon, I'm going to go into the centre and just blend those colours together. And it kind of draws all the colours in and makes a nice kind of deep colour in the centre. If you press too hard, then the flowers will almost disappear into the background. And then you just have to let it settle and reassess it really. See, this one's come back through again, and I don't want it to be quite so dark as that. And then if there's any background colours that aren't looking too pretty, I've got a dot there that I'm not keen on and a dot there, you can just squash it with the balloon. So that's looking quite pretty so far. I think I might leave that centre and not add any more flowers to that. But I do want to put some green through it. So I have got a palette here with some greens in. I'm going to put a bit of chartreuse green. I'm going to put some Pabio iridescent yellow green. Just some Liquitex lime green. Festive green, which is a dark deco art one. And a really dark phthalo green. And then I'm going to do what I normally do and kind of add little bits here and there. Just a few little leafy bits. So this is a complete experiment because I haven't used this kind of colour background before. So I don't know how it will dry. Or how it will react as it dries. Because with the white background, I always know kind of what it will do because it's the one that I use all the time. But I just simply don't know with this. I'm hoping that all the colours will just look really pretty. Right, let's see what happens with this background when I add little green bits. See if it reacts in the same way as how I normally do it. Seems to be alright so far. I always like adding just the little bits of green. I just think it makes it look really pretty. Have some kind of leafy bits amongst the flowers. And I like the paint colours all mixed together on my balloon so that when I dab them into the paint, it has different colours in each of the leaves, so they're not all the same. And it seems to work the same, which is nice. I just wasn't sure with the background and the texture of the paint how it would react. And the colour as well. I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure. seems to be okay. I just like to have lots of variations of colours, and it just makes pretty little patterns. Some metallic and some just opaque. But no, it's looking quite pretty. And then with my stick, I can just alter the shapes a little bit, make them more leaf-like. I can blend the colours together a little bit if I want to. Make it into a little four-leaf clover if I want to. But yes, I think it's looking very pretty. Looking very pretty, I think. I'll tidy up all the lines a little bit, and I will need to measure and just make sure that it's kind of in the centre. So I will carry on fiddling. I'll perhaps put this on to hyperlapse for you, and then you can see how this develops. So here is this little painting. It'll be interesting to see how that dries. I think it's looking quite pretty, and I think it's looking relatively symmetrical. And when it dries, the centre should be really iridescent and metallic, and then the yellow on the outside should be quite matte, so it should really stand out. And then those green bits with a nice mixture of colours in there should just look really pretty. So I'll let that dry for a few days and then we'll see what that looks like. So bye for now. So here is this little painting. It's dried really nicely and the colours are looking very pretty together. I'll take you in for a close-up. You can see how those little green leaves just make a really nice contrast, and how the flowers are all very different. I haven't done anything to this, but if I'd wanted to, I could add some more, but I will leave it like this because I do quite like it. If I turn it towards the light, yes, you can see how those metallic bits just make it look quite 3D really. I normally turn the light off for this, but actually you can see it really well. All the differences in the finishes of the paint. That really quite matte yellow that doesn't shine at all. And then the lovely pabio pink there on that flower. And some nice metallic rose pink. And the background with the mixture of the pastel metallics and pearls and the white. A lovely bit of a chartreuse green at the top leaf in the centre there. So I'm going to leave this as it is. I'm not going to varnish it or anything, and I will make a few in different colours, and it will be interesting to see as time goes by whether I decide to varnish some just to see the difference really. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.